In this set of lessons, I'm going to be showing you how we can use object-oriented connections with PHP code in order to connect to a MySQL database. So we've already looked at how we can create tables, how we can access those tables, and make our database connection. So I'm going to just comment out this code and show you how we can make these connections once again and search through and return data from our database. Or actually, first we're going to show you how to insert data into our database. So it's much like the procedural method where we start out with a query string and we build out that query string. Now, if you want to create quick query strings, you can always go to PHP myadmin. They're going to be the same thing, and it's going to be the same thing that we did over here within our procedural connection. So I'm going to just copy that out, go back into here, and paste that into our query string. So this query string insert into test area, so that's the table that we want it to insert, and then these are the different columns and values that we want it to insert. So we're going to insert a company name, we're going to insert a value, a size of the company, and then a person that we can connect with within that company. And just going over to PHP myadmin, so we've already got this database here, and by the looks of it, I believe we're actually connecting into, so we're going to connect into test area, so it's going to be that same database table that we were using earlier. So again, test area, we've already got some data in there from before, but we're going to be building that out and making those inserts into the database. And again, just like before, if we want to build out those SQL queries, we can do that really easily in PHP myadmin. So you can see it's going to be the same thing here, and of course the ID is going to be an auto increment, so we don't need to specify the ID. That's why it's not in the rest of the string, and literally the same thing here. So I can actually just take this and copy this in if I want to add in something different, and so on. Show you also, so if we want to insert one query in, we could do it this way. But let's say we've got multiple queries and we want to build out that query string. We also have the ability to do this as well. So I'm going to show you how we can do that. So right now it's giving me two query strings, but if I want to concatenate them together, I just add in that dot there, and now the query is going to be inserted into test area, this value, and it's going to run the next one too. So it's going to run both of these query strings at the same time. So now we need to do actually our connection. So we're going to do similar to what we did over here, where we're just going to make sure that our connection is connecting and that we're inserting in. We do have a few options here, so we can do a link, and because it's an object, we link into the query, so it's actually going to be a multi-query. And here's where we add in that query string. And let's check this out and see if this works. So we're going to take a look at our database, see what's in there right now, and see if we actually can just run this, and maybe we want to just set up a result for this and then echo out that result value. So now we're going to be able to see if this is actually returning back a Boolean value as well, just as what we had worked with before. So let's take a look at this, open up our browsers, go over to that file and run it. So it doesn't look like it inserted in. Take a look and refresh it. And it looks like that we ran into possibly a problem here. So going over to here, so we didn't actually run into a problem, but we didn't have anything outputting if we actually do finish the insert. So let's go take a look at our code, and we can see we inserted only one of these, and the reason is because when we're adding in multiple, we do need to have this semicolon in. So now I'm going to update these so that we can differentiate between them. So let's go back out and run this one more time. And we should actually maybe place something here to ensure that if result and echo inserted. So we know actually what's happened there, because that was a little bit confusing where we weren't really sure what happened with that if it got inserted. I'm just going to put error there. And of course we could always write out the error as well. So maybe I'll do that as well. I'll add that in, that we've got our connection object and we've got built-in default error message there. So let's take a look at this and refresh it and see what happens. So we see that we do have a value of true being returned and we're getting our inserted message. So that looks like both of them should have got inserted properly. When I refresh it, we do see that both entries did get inserted. So there was, when you are inserting multiple entries, you got to make sure that you've got that semicolon there. Just to quickly add, so if I only had the one query, so I'm going to just comment this out and show you, instead of the multi-query, we can also do that single query, so that instead of the multi-query, all we have to do is remove that out and set the result as that, and see if I'm going to make it so it's different. I'm going to add a bunch of 5s there so we can see that it's different. Let's go back out here and refresh it. So it looks like it inserted, refresh it, and this is how we insert only the one query. So we do have an option to do multi-queries or one queries inserting data into our database.